Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Review, and if we haven't pounded this into your head enough, please come up here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock and eat and drink, please. Anyway, in this segment right now, we have a special guest with us, PWX superstar, Bubba the Bulldog.
No, not superstar. I hang out. That's
we have
about
a template made that says so-and-so superstar, so we have to do it.
Can you make that a PWX so-so guy? He's all right. Mid-carder.
We can put associate or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I can deal with that.
You may recognize Bubba. He's relatively well-known around the area.
Not that either. I'm pretty much a homeless guy that lives under the 6th Street Bridge. So if you want to visit me, take a boat, get off on the Ohio, come underneath the 6th Street Bridge, and I'll be there. I have a really nice box, though.
Are they going to kick you out with the stadium construction? Are you moving? Or?
Hey, I'm not moving. That's an angle.
He'll be riding that wrecking ball the whole way.
Well, we're not here to talk about your cardboard box under the 6th Street Bridge. We're actually here to talk about your wrestling career. You've been working with PWX the entire time you've been in the business. Let's talk about how you got started.
Well, everybody says it, but I've always been around the business mainly because, my father grew up in Oakland with Bruno Sammartino. So as long as I've been alive, I've known the Sammartino family. And I remember being a kid going to the WIIC tapings after Tarzan Theater. So even as a kid, I was the one that wasn't a cardboard cutout down back then. So I've always been around it. And then a few years ago, there was an article in the paper talking about PWX. And I said, you know something? I want to do this. This is pretty cool. So I talked about it on the radio, and they called me, and I started training.
Talk about some of the training. Now, you trained with PWX, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, talk about some of the training. Who trained you? What was the training process like?
B.A. Briggs stretched me the first night so bad that I literally, and this is no exaggeration, I was black and blue from under my right armpit down to my knee, and I physically could not put on pants. That's how bad I was after 3 hours. And the reason he did it, I don't blame it. I was this radio guy that he thought was trying to capitalize on this wrestling gimmick, and he said, well, let's find out if he's for real. And I think he was shocked when I showed up the next night and said, let's get it on again. And I trained with B.A. Briggs. And, people can say whatever they want about B.A. Briggs, but I can tell you this. When it came to training wrestlers, he would not let one person get through training without being at least scientifically sound. Then again, I might be a bad example of that.
Keeping with the beginning of your career, who are some of the guys you worked first year? I believe your first full-fledged match was at McKeesport High School.
Yeah, I worked a tag match with Sean Evans against Vince and B.A. And then from there, obviously, I went into a feud with them, and I went with Vince. And once again, it was a situation where they never thought that I would stay on board and continue anything, let alone an angle. And I went on with Vince. And then shortly after that, we did the whole PWX SCW thing, and and then the whole Norm Connors and JB Destiny, and then I worked a match with Lou Marconi, and that was the first time I turned heel.
Yeah, let's talk about the heel turn. I know that probably had to surprise a lot of people around the area. I mean, hey, you do a morning show, you're a popular guy in the city. Why would Bubba ever turn heel?
Do you know something? It made all the sense in the world. I mean, one thing that you guys know and everybody watching knows about wrestling is you need to keep everybody wondering. And the fact that night, I remember because what happened was I went after some fans because there was a group of core 5 fans of guys that basically always gave me a hard time. Everybody else sort of liked me except for these 5 guys, and I played up the whole respect angle because it was real. I mean, the back room, a lot of the guys didn't respect me because I was this radio guy. A lot of the fans didn't respect me because I was this radio guy, and they thought I was just trying to steal everybody's limelight. I mean, for God's sakes, people quit the organization because of me. And, I played on it, and until I just turned baby a few months back, it was as real of an angle as it could possibly be because I felt like nobody ever respected me.
Well, we talk a lot about, the baby face, the heel. Which one do you prefer to play? I mean, which one comes naturally to you, the easiest?
Well, I don't think there's any worker that can say that working heel isn't fun. It is. I mean, working heel is absolutely fantastic. And I don't know. You know something? I didn't think I'd like it when I turned back baby, but you know something? I'm actually having a pretty good time after such a long period of time of working heel and trying to get people over, because I think that's the heel's job. You got to get people over, and if you can't do that, you're not working, your position or your spot well. And now it's in a whole different. I've worked matches where all of a sudden I've gone to start working heel, and I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? Stop! So, I mean, I like them both. I just love working.
Now, a couple years ago, I think it was July 1997, you got a chance to work at the Pittsburgh Civic Arena before a Raw taping. I believe you wrestled JB Destiny. And funny enough, at the time, I guess you guys had to kind of switch roles for that match because at the time you were the heel and JB was the face. But at the arena, it had to be a different story. But what was that like working in front of that many people and, of course, in a building like the Civic Arena?
It was awesome. When I came through that curtain, it was so funny because Cornette was in the back, and Cornette said to me, he said, when you walk through that curtain, he said, look at that ring and just keep going. He said, don't stop. He said, go. And my music hit, and I walked through that curtain, and I stopped dead. And I looked around, and I said, wow. In fact, I've got the tape of it, and I watch it all the time because as soon as I walked through that curtain, I look around, and I thought, this is pretty cool. And I gotta tell you, though, it was an awesome feeling, but I didn't get nervous. I got energized, but I didn't get nervous. And the back room, back then, Bret Hart was still there. Brian Pillman was still alive. After the match, Brian Pillman came up to me, put his arm around me and said, are you that radio guy? And I'm like, well, yeah. He goes, hey, don't quit your day job. I was like, oh, yeah, thinking that I stunk up the room. He said, you just made us look bad. And I thought, that's a pretty awesome compliment. And then, and I sat there, and I had nothing to say. And probably an hour later, Bret Hart was working on his bad knee at the time. It was before his surgery. And he was sitting on a couch. And I really was – the guy could barely walk in the back room, and he was out there busting his rear. And he sat down with me, and he said, you know something? He said, I don't know what type of career you have in radio. He said, but if you ever chose to do this, he said, if you put on about 100 pounds maybe, he said, you could do it. So
well, we're gonna.
Cool.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We're gonna end this segment right here, but I just want to point out the thing you just said about Brian Pillman. For the people at home who aren't aware of this, Brian Pillman was a harsh critic. So for him to give you a comment like that says a lot.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk a little bit about the current PWX, PWL, CWF feud that's going on. We want to get Bubba's input on that, and we're gonna do that next.
Nice.
We're here at the Tomato Patch along Route 30, North Huntington Township. We're here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. and we're usually eating pasta. So come on out and eat with us. We're here this week with Sam Panico. He's going to be discussing some of the international events concerning Japan and Indonesia. We're gonna let's start off.
I missed that show, by the way.
Yeah. we talked earlier about the Great Muta. I know you have some interesting insight into the situation with his alignment with the Young Dragons.
I just think it's stupid that they have to put all the Japanese workers together, that it's a ethnocentric ghetto that all these guys get put into. Like all the Mexicans could only work Mexicans. Oh, he's Japanese, so he must be friends with Japanese guys.
Is this going to be the JWO or?
Yeah, I don't know. You could see how people remember Muta, and he hasn't been in this country for a long time, since 3 Bash at the Beach ago, ironically.
Well, not to cut you off, but a question about Muta. Do you think they're going to kind of push him into a feud with Tank Abbott, and how's that going to affect like a clashing of styles? Because that's kind of who he went after on Nitro. I mean, is that where you see him going from here?
But Muta's worked Ogawa in Japan. He's worked a lot of guys that were real fighters, so he has a good judo background, so you could actually have an interesting match out of that. And if not, he can always spray him in the face again. The kids seem to love that.
Oh, yeah.
Muta doesn't have to work. He ruined that tux. I mean, Tank's going to have to pay for that.
You can't go wrong with Green Mist, actually.
There's something to be said for not having cable and being stuck with Japanese tapes.
It's funny. We talked about this right before we came on. Is Muta's receding? Well, receding will probably be a.
Yeah, he doesn't have much hair. You'll see less and less of it as the match goes on.
If he grew his hair really long, wouldn't he remind you of Kabuki, kind of?
Well, he is Kabuki's son.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
The stupidest thing is that they said, oh, Muta doesn't have a work visa and Muta can't work here. Muta has a visa because he gets his knees done in Minnesota every 3 weeks. So, yeah, Muta had a visa. He's here all the time. He's more in the U.S. than he is in Japan.
The things you find out when you have a true insider.
Well, one thing they said leading up to Muta's debut was that, he's having trouble. He's moving to Atlanta. He's going to stay here for 6 months. I mean, can you clear that up?
Yeah, he is in Atlanta for 6 months. He told his wife, I won't be back for 6 months. His wife's a lot more
Make sure you get the newspaper.
Than my girlfriend.
I told my wife that before we left tonight. That's
like, honey, Michinoku booked me for 6 months. I'm going to be gone in Japan for 6 months.
Well,
she'll be there when I get back.
You mentioned he's been in Minnesota. Talk about that a little bit. He's kind of had a history of the knee problems.
Yeah, his knees are really bad. Pretty much when you're as big as he is, a little bit heavier than 250, I believe, and you're doing the moonsault, he's not like one of the junior heavyweight guys. All the weight's going on your knees, so he's pretty much blown his knees out. He's had 3 cortisone shots in each knee, and you should only have about 4 in your life. So that should tell you how bad his knees are. I mean, but he can still, his mind's so sharp that when he wants to, he can probably have a better match than any guy in the world, but his body can't keep up with it.
Okay, who has the worst knees? Great Muta, Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. I know because I carried Terry Funk up to his room once, and it was a struggle.
Well, just
So I seem like a real insider, name dropping and stuff. Come on the show. Yeah.
Well, see, there you go. So if you ran into the Great Muda at Pasta Mania at the Mall of America, it probably really was him. But let's talk about All Japan a little bit. There's been a lot of craziness going on there with the.
There is no All Japan.
Well, yeah. Why don't you explain?
The Hogan thing that he's doing was, he's probably going to start his own company on Fox, whatever happens there. The thing that happened in Japan's real. The main star of All Japan, who's Misawa, pretty much left the company before the new tour started, and he took about 28 workers with him and 15 office personnel, which is pretty much the entire All Japan company. There's about 3 native guys that stayed in All Japan, which would be they're calling Manikia Mossman, who's related to The Rock. They're calling him a native, but really he's Hawaiian. Kawada, who would be the number 2 star, and Masafuchi, who hasn't really wrestled that much, and a couple of the rookies. But almost everybody else went with Misawa to form a new company called Noah, which no one has any idea what it means. But my brother.
I have a question. Was Todd Gordon involved at all in this?
No, he wasn't. But literally, whenever you hear these worked angles, guys are leaving to start their own companies. This is what happened. Everybody left. And they pretty much dropped out of the tour. The rest of the tour has been filled in. When Too Cold Scorpio and Kamala 2 are headlining your cards, your company's in big problems.
They're headlining the ECW pay-per-view this week, I understand. Tomorrow night.
Who isn't?
Yeah, but the significance of this, really, this is kind of almost like the WWF, or like you said, like Hogan leaving, but legitimately leaving.
It would be like in WWF if The Rock took everybody with him except for Triple H. That's pretty much what it would be like. And the weird thing is Tenryu, who was a star that did the exact same thing that Misawa did 10 years ago, has come back to All Japan to help them. A lot of the older guys, Yamaguchi, who managed Kaientai, he's actually the new booker for All Japan, getting foreign talent. So a lot of the people that had been with All Japan in the past and had left are now starting to come back to help them. But really, the company's in dire straits.
Well, I've been reading something. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was just go ahead.
I've been reading something that 2 of the things that Misawa's looking to do with this new group is he's looking for more American style booking, and he's getting some new ring music done.
He has a new ring too, which is bright, the brightest green you've ever seen. And silver, because his colors are green and silver. So if you're guessing who's going to be the top star in Misawa's group, it's going to be Misawa. Just like when someone runs a promotion in, say, Pittsburgh, for example, they would put themselves as the top star.
Be careful. Hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Hypothetically speaking.
Not that anyone's ever done that.
What other wrestlers can you familiarize our audience with? It'll be with Noah, I guess would be the name of the company.
Vader will be the only wrestler they would know. And that's it. I'm sorry.
I really tried.
Well, yeah, the wrestlers that they would know would be in All Japan, which would be George Hines, who used to be one of the Fantastics, Too Cold Scorpio, Kamala 2, Stan Hansen. That's it. That's about all. Steve Williams, sorry, and Bart Gunn.
Getting back to one guy, Johnny Ace, he. If you read on the internet, he moved to WCW. Is he wrestling still? With Noah, I should say.
No, he is not wrestling anywhere. He pretty much left on this tour, which is odd because he's married to Giant Baba, was the owner of All Japan, and he is married to one of Baba's daughters. So he was really tied into the company. So you can tell the company's in bad straits when he's leaving. But you know what? If he's doing the finishes like he did on Nitro last night, I'm happy.
So he is signed and sealed with WCW.
Yeah, and you can tell the way the finishes worked last night. They're his booking style, clean finishes, and then they're running.
Well, about All Japan, can you give us some of the guys maybe that they're trying to get, some of the guys that they're going after? You did mention a few American stars that we might be familiar with. Is there anybody else? Because I think we said that they're going to try to be more Americanized. Is there somebody?
Noah's going to be more Americanized.
Oh, okay.
So but they're not going to grab any American guys, they say. They want to stay with
All Japan.
Noah won't. All Japan's pretty much should be take whoever they can get.
Okay.
At this point,
they don't have their eye on anybody specifically.
No.
Well, we'd like to thank Sam for being with us this week, and Sam, of course, being the independent worker, he has demanded a fee, so we're going to present him with his Scotty Venom figure, and of course, he's going to open it up on the air. So
if I can speak on behalf of Scott Venom, he doesn't have tights that ugly. He doesn't wear fishnets on the sides either.
I hope I can go to ECW because then I'll get a figure like the first week I'm in there.
And you might be on the pay-per-view. Actually, you might be on the pay-per-view. You never know.
Tune in.
We'll be back next segment. We're going to do our always popular rant segment, and we're going to try to control Tom. That's why he's not with us right now. He's calming down. So we'll be back after this.
Questions were, number 1, who did Bruno Sammartino beat for his first WWF World title? It was Buddy Rogers. Question 2, who managed it? Yeah, that Terry Funk and Great Muta in the NWA. It was Gary Hart. And finally, the third question, actually not finally the third question, who accompanied the British Bulldogs to the ring at WrestleMania 2? It was Ozman, Ozzy Osbourne. I believe I said that right. And the fourth question was Rennie.
The fourth question was, which WWF, or actually it was name any 2 WWF superstars that have had wrestling figures put out in the LJN, Hasbro, and Jakks line. You could have said Honky Tonk Man, Big Boss Man, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart. Any of those would be fine.
And
Sir.
Yes. For those of you who got correct questions or correct answers last week or for this week's, you win a gift certificate from the Original Pizza Works for 1 large pizza, an order of wings, and a 2-liter bottle of carbonated beverages. You can redeem that at any of the 3 Pizza Works outlets at Dravosburg, Jefferson Hills, and Finleyville.
And after you answer the 3 questions on the website at ProWrestlingReview.com, this week's question is, name the 3 wrestlers who made their in-ring wrestling debut at this past Backlash. Kind of an easy one, but what the hell.
Yep.
Include your name and address, ProWrestlingReview.com for the other questions, and win some pizza.
Makes a great pay-per-view or Raw party. We've eaten it, and it's great. And I'm serious. It really is good. It is very good.
Very good pizza.
Well,
That's it.
I was going to say good luck to the people, so good luck.
It's a Halamanna, Jim.
You're the serious one here, Kingdom. Yeah, come on out and join us. We have a lot of fun here, you know. Right now, we're going to do what we did 2 weeks ago. We're going to have an interview. And with us this week is...
I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. I just want to say right off the bat that I disagree with everything you have said so far.
That's nothing new for this panel.
I need you to know.
Do I have to put this mic down and come over there? Can I introduce you first? Some of our audience
I'll
might
beat
not
you
know
worse
us.
than Brian did before the show, man. I won't use a microphone.
Oh, boy. Anyway, this is Kingdom James, currently PWX.
Pull yourself together for
Uh,
One
God's
half
sakes.
of the PWX Tag Team Champions.
Why, 2/3.
2/3. A lot of times, the one reason alone to go to a PWX show is to listen to his mic skills, and we have him this week. So, Kingdom, pleasure to have you here.
I have nothing to say. All right, so what's going on, man?
Let's get into the
I
important
don't even know these guys.
Rennie, Tom, Kingdom.
Don't worry, we
Tom,
just
Rennie.
wandered on this about 2 segments ago.
Isn't Smash Mouth still on tour? What are you doing here?
I had the night off.
Oh,
I was going to say
man.
Sugar Ray, but
Oh, hey Jim,
What's Christina Aguilera like?
you really want to know?
No. No. But I just met Christy Kiss.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
There's 3
We
things
will-
you got to do to
this-
get over in
this will definitely be our
independent
last
wrestling, kids. You got to get over on the internet, you got to get over on the East Coast, and you got to get over on Christy Kiss.
And you've done all 3, haven't you?
No. No.
You haven't gotten over
But the
internet
internet's
yet.
tough.
yeah, we know how people on the internet love you.
Now you were bitching to me about libel.
Yeah. I guess because he's not an official staff member.
That's Chad Sober.
Oh, that's lower than low, by the way.
Yes, it is.
This is
You have no response.
I'm thinking of one.
this is
I've never
really
been
bad.
bombarded with
it's only
this much
3.5
sarcasm.
it's only
before.
3.5
I like
Started
segments
here.
left,
I am
man.
thinking of a response.
All right, let's talk
Usually
about
usually Tom's the one nearly getting us thrown off the show every week, so this is kind of.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's glad to see my role being reincarnated in someone like yourself. So
Wow,
kick
yeah.
it.
Can't we just once kick it?
all right, well,
Let's talk about something.
Let's talk about important things. Kingdom, tell us about the hat gimmick from a couple shows ago.
What are you talking about?
They-
Oh, the hat.
It's a camouflage hat.
Oh, that wasn't a gimmick, man. That was my hat. I just felt like wearing it. Actually, that's my.
We'll be back after this.
That's my fiance's hat, and I have my own National Guard hat. You don't know what kind of argument I had to go through to get Homicide to wear the National Guard. What do I have to wear this for? Just do it. It'll be funny. And then halfway through the match, I got him to knock Hillbilly Chris. Clubber Corbellic. Oops. Oops.
Chris.
Who can tell what
Don't
year
worry,
I
the
first
show's
came
not
to
dated.
Pittsburgh?
that's right. People
Clubber-
that
not
watch the
Clubber-
show. People that watch the show don't going to be.
Knocked Clubber Corbellic down to his knees, and I got in the ring and rode him around like a steer and waved my hat, screaming "Yeehaw!" Because about a third of all cowboys were black in the Old West. Did you ever see that movie Posse?
I think we're going to get that statistic up here on the screen here in a moment.
Tiny Lister, what an actor, man.
Should somebody start singing Rhinestone Cowboy over here? I don't know. Maybe.
Don't get me started.
Okay.
And that was Neil Diamond before the show, man. Hooked on a feeling. All right. I had a dance kind of. Oh, serious.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get serious. Let's talk about your PWX career right now. You returned to PWX maybe a little over a year ago.
Just under a year ago.
Just under a year ago.
What month is this? Yeah, about a year ago.
Now, Smash Mouth,
It's
is that the
Jim.
guy with the goatee and the highlighted hair?
What were you saying, Jim?
You returned to PWX. Yes, it was, Tom.
Thank you, Jim.
His hair's a little more bleached on top.
Don't encourage him.
I'm sorry. He's on the show. I gotta make him feel like he's
all right.
worthwhile. You know?
Maybe you bastard. Go.
Shut up. Anyway,
How did you know his parents weren't married?
Lucky guess.
You know, originally his name was Trucker Jr. because she didn't know. Good night, folks.
Anyway, you see a Steve Austin poster behind Brian there. We wish him back any time now.
guys, we have three more segments after this.
Come on, let's talk about
Try and get
wrestling,
through
man.
one.
This has gone places I didn't think it was gonna go.
Talk about. I don't even.
Talk about your
want-
PWX career. You returned a little under a year ago.
Yes, I did. I worked a show and a half for Steel City. And
How do you work a half a show?
oh well, I was supposed to work Luscious Lucas, and then I don't know, he choked on a cherry seed or something, and he was in the hospital. They got the word like that morning. Guy's in intensive care for a week, and they find out that morning. So I did a run-in.
Was that the
on-
episode of Rescue 911 where they performed the tracheotomy with the plastic knife?
Is that the first words you've said so far?
Yeah.
So
I was setting up the
So-
pool table when you got here. I mean, what do you want?
anyways, so I ended up doing a run-in on Shirley Doe to begin a feud that didn't actually have a match for several months. When we went to another town, we set up a feud last May, and we didn't really start it until February in Erie.
Independent wrestling.
How's it going, Norm? I like you, man.
Anyway,
I'm
you
just
made
goofing.
jump, I guess you could say, to PWX, and
Yeah.
that's
Because it was right near my house, right?
figuratively speaking. Let's talk about what
Hey,
you've
Black
done
Cat. I was living with Black Cat when I moved back.
We're trying to do a moderately serious interview.
All right. Well, get him to stop looking at me funny.
Anyway,
Wishful thinking once
get back
again.
to what you are.
I'm directed in this.
Talk about what you've done in PWX.
Yeah,
Oh, talk about what I've done. What have I done? What, did someone throw something at you?
I think it's your time trying to get off the stage. Someone just threw a rotten orange at you or something.
Oh, well, it wasn't me. What have I done?
For all you out there who were paying attention, that was the Kane mask, and God knows why it fell.
Nitro Science.
Kingdom, it didn't fall when Scott Venom was on. So if that makes you feel good or bad, I don't know.
I can grow hair. I Scott Venom.
All right.
So, okay,
well-
what have I done?
Well, actually, we're running
actually
short
have
on
tons
this
of
segment.
Running short in this segment?
We've
Yeah.
totally filtered away this
That
segment.
about
It's
covers
time for
what I've
laughing
done.
to go to a commercial
Right.
break.
We'll be back with Kingdom James. We have
Very
3 more segments with him,
interesting.
and the humor will just continue. I'm
My
sure.
God.
We
The
left.
break. Well, anyway, we'd like to.
This is why Kingdom James' monologue has sometimes carried PWX shows from bad to okay.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you said that
Oh.
earlier, but
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, there's 2 shows, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Tip your wait staff. See, enjoy the casino. So let's talk about something. What have I done? I'll interview myself here. So, Kingdom, what have you done since you've been back at PWX? Oh, draw heat? No.
Talk about that if you want to.
Talk about it if I
Let's
want.
talk
what?
about the homicide situation.
The
You
homicide
wanna bring that up?
situation.
Is that
Murder is
touchy?
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I can talk about it.
It's
sure.
not too touchy.
Nah. What do I care?
All right, let's talk about. You guys had a little bit of a problem.
I didn't.
Okay, there was a little.
Well, let's lay some.
Okay,
background.
here's
Lay
the deal.
background.
Here's the deal. Stop wasting time. Let me talk. So we were Homicide and I were the team of Unstoppable, and we were feuding with Paul Atlas and Lou Marconi. And
Touch my leg.
It
Get him off. Never mind.
look
Sorry.
at you, and you're worried about me touching you. So, anyways,
I guess that was a compliment. but go
whatever,
ahead.
Stevie Richards. Look,
I wish.
don't you?
He likes me back
Shut
there.
up, drunk. So Homicide and Paul Atlas apparently don't like each other very much, and it all it takes is one steel chair to the back of the noggin and a little bit of blood, and some people just get angry. I don't know why. I don't know why, and it broke down into something that resulted in homicide, leaving PWX for PWL, which is, it's not really leaving. It's like I don't show up on Fridays anymore. I show up on Saturdays. Right?
Doesn't that put it into perspective? you just killed the whole.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
Killed 8 months of work by everybody in PWX.
Kingdom
what?
James will soon be looking for work, so if there's a promoter out there.
Hey, man, I got 10 shows in August. Leave me alone. What was I saying? Oh, and and the team of Kingdom James and referee Sean Patrick was born.
How did that come about?
He demands that he is 34 years old. That guy's like 42, 43, and 5 kids. Sean Patrick has 5 kids. He can't make eye contact with his wife without her getting knocked up.
Can we say knocked up on this show?
Just did.
That doesn't answer my question.
What do you want me to say? Prego or something? What do you?
You and Sean Patrick.
That's just
are the
weird.
Tag team champions. How long is this run going to last?
Huh?
How long is your tag team title run going to last?
What do you expect me to predict such a thing? The sport of professional wrestling is very unpredictable. There's ebb and flow. There's anybody can win any given match any night in any arena in this country.
Especially whenever you're working for an independent group that's trying to logically put good stories together that flow and make sense. And
I work for PWX.
If I may.
That's right.
Joking. I'm joking.
Actually, I wasn't.
I know.
Yeah. But really, what is the question?
I actually have a question, and I don't even know why I'm asking this because I'm not going to get a damn answer. But anyway, what is your favorite personality in either PWX or PWL? Being that
In PWL, I like Crusher Hansen. Hey, I'm talking here. I like Crusher Hansen, and not enough apparently. And I like Kid Cupid, because Kid Cupid is all personality.
Well,
that kid
for
is
some
just
of the viewers out there who maybe not see PWX or try to avoid it, can you maybe describe the two characters?
like yourself.
How did you know?
We were talking. Crusher Hansen is the enforcing official now in PWL. He referees his own matches. It's like a Monty Python skit. It's great. And Kid Cupid is...
He's a sizable kid.
He's a fat guy.
Relatively new
fat
to wrestling, I believe.
What? Yeah, relatively new to... Why do I always have to get you to repeat your questions? What's going on?
I'm trying to add some sanity here. I apologize.
The kid's got a little personality. Though.
Yeah, he's got a little personality. He's got some good ideas.
There's this whole. I think you'll agree with me. Is the Pittsburgh area is loaded with big fat guys, and it's really tough to get one with a.
What do you have to look at me like that for when you say that? I'm on the no carbs diet now.
Well, how's it going?
It sucks. If I lose some weight, I hear single women in the back of the bar, man. Anyways.
We can put your phone number up if you want.
I don't think my wife would like that. Anyways. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not on the road.
I should really appreciate a comment beforehand.
She knows I'm joking. I love you.
Well, let's the PWX, you talk about the difference between showing up different days, but PWL heavily outdrawing PWX. I think pretty much
Since
everybody
when?
Well, have you been to the shows?
Yeah, I have, but I wanted to make you,
just
I brought my entire high school graduating class with me every week,
What do you see PWX needing to do to turn that trend around?
Oh man, I don't want to answer that. I'll get in trouble.
But everything you said prior to that, you won't, right?
So, anyways, Jim. Oh, I'm sorry. Brian asked this question. No, what do I see them needing to do? I see them needing, a little better storyline, a little more thought in the booking.
And I think you're being nice.
No more. Yeah, I am. I'm being real nice. I need no more, but I'm being truthful. No more slapdashery, is what. That's a word. Shut up, man. Yeah, you're drunk. He admits it.
Let me ask you this.
Great.
As we close the segment,
we appreciate honesty.
Getting the cut sign again. If you want to answer this, of course you don't have to. Not that you avoid any questions yet.
Yeah.
How much do you have any input into the booking or storylines aside from your own?
Several people think I do. Several people have openly accused me of it. Hi, Mantis. And I might have some input into my own character. and sometimes somebody will ask me a question or two, but I'm not on the booking committee. I don't make matches. I'm just a humble, independent professional wrestler going out there trying to draw heat and get in trouble with people.
Before we go to the break, let me say you've done more ice skating run questions than Isaiah Thomas being asked if he's taking the Pacers job.
Look, let me tell you something about Isaiah Thomas, first of all. When he was with the Toronto Raptors, when he came in, loved him, thought he was a godsend. And then near the end of his reign, he wanted to buy the team, and they wouldn't sell him the team. And all of a sudden,
instead he bought the CBA.
All of a sudden, Isaiah was a pariah. You like that? Isaiah was I got me a vocabulary. That's Canadian education, kids. Move to Canada.
We're going to send Kingdom out to the audience to teach him his vocabulary. We'll be back right after this.
Not going to happen.
Well, Norm Connor's final show. I'm Brian Krasman of the Daily News.
I'm Rennie Detour from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Missing in action once again is Jim the Bruiser, where we don't know where the hell he's at. But
Jim
hopefully he'll be back next week, Brian. If we do it next week.
Jim, like a true independent worker, no-showed. So.
Oh, and by the way, I'm Tom Combetti. Hi. So, forgot to announce that.
We've got some guests at this time. If you're familiar with the Pittsburgh wrestling scene, and God, why shouldn't you be? And actually PWL and CWF, is that Championship Wrestling Federation, I believe it is. I'm being quieted. Shirley Doe, Katarina Heiss, they are members of the Hellfire Club, and they're with us this evening. How you guys doing?
Good. I'm Shirley, in case you can't guess, because we both have girls'
Oh, yeah,
names.
we should have pointed that out.
Right.
So.
Come on, Brian, you're lacking on the job here.
This is something you don't run into a lot. So hi, guys. It's nice to be on your show, finally, and say hi. I don't have my makeup on, so you'll forgive me if I'm a little bit more kayfabe breaking than normal. But I have my lipstick with me. I just have to put it on. Man, it's like a Sonic Youth concert here.
Yeah, Soundgarden's going to be playing once we're done here.
I'm not complaining.
First, let's talk about Steel City Wrestling being the show tonight. You are on the show tonight. You don't just wear those pants out.
Actually, I do.
I think he came from a crossing guard job or something like that with those pants. I'm not sure.
Yeah, these are from Mexico. These are the new ones, and they're real flashy and exciting. Just like me right now. I apologize to the great viewers of your show, whatever it's called.
Yes. We have viewers?
I'm just kidding, because I'm like kind of jet lagged, because I'm a traveling indie star. But anyway, yeah, these are the pants I normally wear, and I am on the show, and our opponents just came, whoever they are, but we don't know who they are yet. So wrestling's all planned, and everybody knows what's going to happen in advance, weeks in advance.
A little in-depth shoot interview, if you will, there.
No, not really.
Yes.
Sorry.
See, it's not all really staged.
Yeah, well,
Brian,
no,
don't give our audience anything to write us back to. How many times do we have to discuss this in private?
I'm going to shut the mic off for the rest of this segment. I apologize for embarrassing everybody.
All right, thank you, Brian.
Okay, now pick it back up.
All right, you've known Norm Connors for a long time, probably longer than you care to admit. What's it going to be like working his last show?
I feel like Giant Baba just died. Sorry.
Can we say that?
That's another joke that no one will get. It's neat. It's nice to be on the show, and I appreciate being on the show. And Norm, I actually worked my first show for Norm. I was on the second Steel City show ever, so I've been on almost every Steel City show, with the exception of a few years and a half at PWX that I've stricken from the record. So much like
it's that mental lapse, right?
Yeah. The good thing about chair shots is you forget about all the crappy places you've worked. Anyway, yes.
Hopefully he's watching right now.
I'm just kidding.
He's a loyal fan. He has a couple television sets, so he's not sure if we're 21, 13, so just in case.
Speaking of loyal fans, my one friend who happens to be your biggest fan has your, I believe, Rennie, is it a Hot Dough t-shirt?
Yeah, I can remember that.
I don't know how in the hell he got it, but I think it was,
oh my
well, I won't mention the promotion. But I forget what the hell happened. Maybe I think you were wrestling Zoltan or maybe tagging with him.
I was
in all the commotion. The shirt got thrown into the crowd. My buddy rushes over, grabs it, and he's had it ever since.
I know where it came from because it was Zoltan and I against Player and T. Ranchula, and Zoltan was going to get hit with the nachos, so I speared Zoltan out of the way because I don't want Zoltan to take get hurt. So,
that nacho cheese is pretty hot.
And I got hit in the face, and T ripped my shirt off because he hit me 3 times, and I screamed a swear word that begins with mother, hit me again. And you don't do that when you're with T. Ranchula. I don't know. So that's where that shirt came from.
Oh, just a little food for thought. I thought you'd appreciate that
Thank you.
more than anyone.
I don't know what happened to it, so now I know. Life can go on.
He has it, and he sleeps with it every night, just like a loyal teddy bear.
That's actually very scary. If you don't mind passing your mic on,
Oh, yes.
Katerina, you're
He's
kind
hogging
of.
all the airtime here.
That's Sam. What do you? Oh my God!
Always
I'm
has to be
sorry.
the center of attention.
Just edit that out. That's.
See, now,
There's
is this
no way
part,
to
of,
cover
is this
that
part
up.
of the show, or are they just actually like, oh, I don't know.
No, it's just me screwing up. You're relatively new to the area, so if you don't mind telling our viewers how you got started, how you got interested.
Well, I've been a big fan of wrestling forever, and then one day I just decided that I wanted to get involved with it, so I just went up to Eastland and said, "Hey, can I be a manager?" And they were like, "Yeah." And that's
Pretty
about
simple
it.
process. That's how we got this show, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, can we have a show?
We met
Yeah.
we met our producer in a Kogos and just said, "Please put us on television." So.
We saw the shirt, and we just, hey, we want to be on TV.
But one of the main groups right now you're working for is PWL, which is really kind of actually going through a very hot period right now.
Yeah.
Tell us or actually tell the viewers a little bit about PWL, what they can expect from those shows, because it's like sort of PWX's splinter group. I don't know if you want to call it splinter group, but it's.
No, I mean we're all one organization, just two different branches. That's the way I like to think about it. But PWL is it started off as the rookie league, and it now has a lot of the older PWX workers as well, not just new guys. But it's really a great promotion. There's a lot of creativity and a lot of energy. Everybody really loves being there, and everybody's always really enthusiastic to go. So you get a show that's just totally high energy, and the crowd definitely feeds off the energy in the ring, and we get great energy back from them. So it's really great.
No, the one thing I know, the other group I know that both you guys are working for right now is CWF. That's Powerhouse Hughes group out in Monessen. Actually, his last show, I guess it was the March show, when you guys debuted as the Hellfire Club. One of the very few times I literally thought there was going to be a riot at a show. What the hell happened? I mean,
Wow,
people seemed a little shocked.
we don't really know. I don't think.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean to interrupt this promo, but you are wanted in the back. You've got a match that's up number 2, brother.
Can I answer the question? And I'll come
Answer the
back?
question.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Pro Wrestling evolve as we speak.
Listen, here's the finish. I'm gonna
roll me
take
up.
a really nasty crap. Everybody's gonna leave the building. Thank you.
Okay.
You're CA.
That wasn't on the Wrestling with Shadows
you want me to-
documentary, by the way, but
Yep. I have a wire on me right now, so when you hear him telling me how it's going to be a schmoz, everybody come running. What was it? It was the Hellfire.
Hellfire Club, yes.
Chair shots. Anyway, but I was reading a lot about Andy Kaufman and different comedy artists that kind of go to town whenever they go out there, and you don't know where the line between reality and unreality is. So I think if you throw a garbage can into the crowd every once in a while, or run after a fan, or try to come this close to hitting a fan, it really brings the energy up. Or you can almost get sued too. So we're just crossing that fine line. But she's really great. I think you guys should check out her managing. And I'm gonna let her put herself over. And Quinn Magnum's gonna give her $5 later on for that great stirring thing about PWL. But I've been to a lot of their shows, and Super Hente's really good, and so is Devil Budokan, Orion. There's a lot of good guys there. And I wrestle for FNW and Steel City for one more show, and CWF. Just come to indie shows and support them. Bye. I'm going to go get my finish.
He's going to get
Thanks,
going.
Brian.
Thanks a lot, Shirley. That's Shirley Doe, Katerina Heiss.
Moving
Thanks a
over.
lot, guys, for
Hey, thanks for having us.
being with us. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll be back.